Inclusion. What does it really mean? What does it mean in my classroom? It means that every child is included in the learning process. Every child in my classroom has the ability to learn and know they are valued. Now let's meet Theo Jose. He was born in the 1950s and went to school in the 1960s when there was no ideology of inclusion and STEM was unheard of. Back before learning disability was a term used in the education system and inclusion was not an idea in our classrooms. You will never meet a kinder or sweeter soul, and yet my mother tells me stories of Theo Jose failing in school and knowing he was different. At the age of 9, my Theo was labeled as a non-learner and sent home never to return to school again. To this day, he struggles to communicate his thoughts and ideas. He can barely sign his name to documents, and he will always need to be cared for because of his lack of basic skills to support himself. So what do we mean by an all-embracing society ideology? As a new classroom teacher coming in 12 years ago, the word inclusion struck fear in me. How would I include all students? How would I form a community of learners who embraced differences and respected one another, no matter the child? In my 12 years of teaching, I have found the amazing bridge to close the gap between my inclusion students and my classroom students: STEM. When you place materials in front of any child and encourage them to build, engineer, and create to solve a problem, suddenly different strengths of children emerge. The awkward, quiet child becomes excited and begins to vocalize. The child with reading disability is able to manipulate the materials in front of them and explain their situation to the problem. Suddenly, the walls and barriers are removed, and that child is a learner. That child is included. STEM engages all children, and the term non-learner does not exist. Through STEMAZing, I have grown as a STEM teacher and expanded best practices so that all my students are learning together. It has given me tools and equipments to give my students so they are all successful. Just think, if the all-embracing societal ideology of inclusion and STEM were in the school systems of the 1960s, how would it have changed his life? How many doors would it have opened? How many wonderful, creative ideas would it have fostered? I will never know, but my students, all of my students and our future, are able to be learners, engineers, scientists, mathematicians, and so much more through STEM.